my name's Eva and welcome to this channel. Today we are talking about one type of casual sex relationship, and that is the fuck buddy. And I don't really like the term because it sounds kind of aggressive and it's hard to say when you're out and about, so I prefer the term acquaintance with benefits. So I'm just gonna pull a Gretchen Wiener here and I suggest that we make acquaintance with benefits happen. So in this video I'm going to be talking about what the heck this type of relationship is and how to make it work for you if that's something that you're interested in. To begin, let's define acquaintance with benefits. And according to this really cool study out of Ottawa in Canada, so representing Canadian research, they asked a bunch of participants to match definitions of different casual sex relationships with their titles to see whether people define things the same way. So I'm going to read you the definition of fuck buddy that was 81% people agreed that this was the definition. Sex between people who know each other. They engage in sexual activity when they hang out with each other. They are usually not under the influence of alcohol and or drugs, and these two engage in sex with each other regularly. So let's get into the tips for how you can have an awesome acquaintance with benefits relationship. The first tip is to be open and to explicitly communicate your boundaries and expectations. There's a really cool study that summarized all the research done where researchers interview people about their casual sex relationships and experiences, and one of the big themes that came out from it is that there are a lot of implicit rules, so nobody ever actually talked about what they wanted in their expectations, and that caused a lot of stress and confusion, so you don't want to do that. I've made a list of a couple things that you might want to talk about in your conversation with your acquaintance with benefits about your boundaries and your expectations. So you can talk about staying over after your sex dates happen. Is that something you want to do, or does that feel too intimate? What about cuddling? Sharing non-sexual parts of your lives. So when you're texting or keeping in contact throughout the week, are you going to talk about your jobs? Are you going to kind of stick to in talking about fantasies and this awesome sex podcast you're listening to? Speaking of texting and communicating throughout the week, is sexting something you want to do? Another thing that it's important to talk about is how often you're going to see each other. Often people say maximum once a week, and that's generally a good rule of thumb, but of course talk with your partner. And of course you should be talking about, are you seeing each other exclusively, and what types of safer sex tools and STI testings are going to be best for your situation. Also, don't be afraid to reevaluate these boundaries and arrangements that you've made if they no longer fit what you want anymore, or there's part of it that you want to change. My second tip is just because they are not your friend or you don't know them particularly well, it doesn't mean that you can't be kind and thoughtful and respectful of their time. For example, be sure to give them lots of time in advance if you need to reschedule a sex date that you're gonna have. Ideally, do not ghost them. Be respectful and communicate to them if your arrangement is no longer working, and let them know that they're awesome. I did a call out on my social media on Twitter and Instagram for people to share their positive stories, and some of them that I got were people checked in about how they were feeling afterwards, driving people to go get post-sex food. My third and last tip is to take advantage of this opportunity to really explore and play with your sexuality. Whip out your want, will, won't lists, talk about fantasy, watch porn together, share your favorite condom brands. Obviously, you can do that in any type of relationship, but acquaintance with benefits arrangements are typically more low stakes, more relaxed, and more focused on the sexuality portion. If the whole point of your encounter is to have great sex, then work to make that happen. That's all for me today. I hope you liked this video. Leave a comment telling me if there's any other casual sex relationship that you want me to talk about on this channel, or in general, any other video ideas that you might have for me. Like this video if you like it. I also have a Patreon where you can throw me a couple bucks to keep making these videos. I will link below. Subscribe if you aren't already, and have a lovely day. Which is why you can call your hangouts sex dates if you so choose.